Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah. Sunnahfollowers, protectors of the Sunnah.
Alhamdulillah, wa salam Allah wa Rasulullah. Welcome to another session of Sunnah Followers Hadith class. And this is the Hadith class, whereas we discuss Hadiths that relate to women. And let me put the Hadith up that's up for discussion tonight on the screen. And the source of this Hadith is Tirmidhi. This is Tirmidhi. Let me make it so y'all can see it. And it's narrated by Abu Kalaba. He said that a man said that he went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to discuss something, and the Prophet was eating his breakfast, and he told him, "Come on in and eat with me." And the man said, "Oh, it's okay, oh Prophet, I'm fasting." And the Prophet said, "No, come on, and I will tell you about fasting." He said, "Don't you know that Allah has waived half of the prayer and fasting from the traveler, and he has granted a concession to pregnant women and the sick?" So he was letting him know here that this is something about fasting that we Muslims should be aware of. Okay, when it comes to fasting, a person doesn't have to fast, okay, when he is traveling. When a person is traveling on a journey, he or she does not have to fast. You can make those days up later. And also for women who are people who are sick with some type of sickness, they don't have to fast either. Instead, they would pay the ransom. And also for women who suffer with high risk pregnancy, for those women that suffer with a high risk pregnancy, they don't have to fast, they would pay the ransom too. So this shows, how merciful Allah is. Allah knows his creation better than the creation knows itself. And Allah has made this religion so easy for us. It's just sad to see how we complicate it for ourselves. So who would like to share their thoughts on this wonderful hadith about fasting? Anyone?
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Gracie.
I tried to fast and found out that I couldn't, but when Ramadan come about, I feel so left out. But it's because of my sickness and it won't go away. I had to see this for the rest of my life, but it won't go away. I know how to manage it. I got things under control, my pain under control now. I went to a lot of doctors, and I still going to the doctors. And fasting, that's something my husband do. He do it the whole 30 days. He don't eat in the morning. I fix him some hard breakfast, and he don't eat nothing else until migrate, so it's time to break fast the whole 30 days. I watch my husband real closely with this baby. I watch how he do it, and he do it according to the Quran and the Hadiths. And I just feel left out when I can't fast. And I wish I could fast, but
this is a good point that Gracie's bring up. A lot of people who fall in the category of sickness feel left out, but you shouldn't, because you get the same reward just by paying the ransom. If you're sick, like in your case, you can't fast, because of your disabilities, but so you would just pay the ransom for those days. And at the end, you are getting the same reward as a person that does fast. And you would still honor everything else. You would still spend the fasting day learning the religion like you do, reading Quran and doing good deeds, and you're still getting the reward. So, this is what our Our personal jinn will push most of us to feel that we are, left out, or we're not doing what we're supposed to do, because Allah made the religion so easy. But you shouldn't feel that way. You're getting the same reward as your husband, and everything. You can even get more than him, depending on how you spend your time, remembering Allah, because that's what fasting is all about, remembering Allah. And Allah doesn't want to overburden any of us more than what we can bear. So that's why he said, for those who are sick, they don't have to fast, but you pay the ransom for those days. And the ransoms is your fast. At the end of Ramadan, you give that money to your local masjid, and that's your fast. So don't feel left out. Look at it like, mashallah, look how merciful Allah is. This is a barakah for me. This is a blessing for me from my Lord. I can still earn the same rewards of a person that fasts by simply doing what they do and paying my ransom. So don't allow yourself to feel, left out. Alhamdulillah, thank you for sharing it. Anyone else would like to share? And also for the traveler, the same thing. Traveling is an inconvenience for us all. It's hard to travel and fast. Well, Allah made it easy for us. When we're traveling, you don't have to fast, but you can make those days up. You don't pay a ransom, but you make those days up after Ramadan. That just, again, shows the mercy of Allah. And pregnant women. Now, pregnant women have to fast unless it's a high risk pregnancy. If your doctor has diagnosed you as being high risk, then in that case, those women don't fast, but they still spend their time remembering Allah and pay the ransom, and they get the reward, for having fasted as well. Yeah, any other questions or comments? And let's put this hadith up on the screen again. And again, it just shows the mercy of Allah. One of the companions went to visit the Prophet, and the Prophet was eating his breakfast. And the Prophet invited him to come in and share in his breakfast. And he said, "Oh, that's okay. I'm fasting." And the Prophet said, "Well, still, come on in and I'll tell you about fasting." He said, Allah has waived half of the prayer. What does that mean? That means when a person is traveling, instead of praying the 4 rakats, you reduce the 4 rakat prayers down to 2 to make it easy for them. And also, Allah has waived fasting in general for the traveler. And Allah has also given a concession, to sick people and women who are pregnant, who are looking at perhaps having a miscarriage. So again, wonderful hadith that shows how beautiful our way of life is, how merciful Allah is. All we have to do is learn our deen, learn it correctly. I'd like to thank everybody for joining and participating. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu